GR4 and GR4 Dual instructions. As Groundtech, we are offering two distinct technologies in our new product series, across two different models. Our first model, GR4, is the base model, equipped with MFS sensor technology, developed for subsurface imaging. Our second model, GR4 Dual, is equipped with PI detector technology in addition to the MFS sensor of the base model. Let's explore the basics of GR4. There are three control pieces on the front side of the device. The screen allows you to see clearly all the data gathered during the search. Moreover, it allows you to access the menus, to switch between analysis screens, and to manage all user interface controls. Direction buttons allow you to move through the menu parameters to select and adjust various device settings and perform shortcuts such as muting the device and turning the sound back on. They make fine-tuned control during setting modifications possible and help you easily access settings during detection. Power Select button. This button functions as both selector and power button. A short push selects menu parameters, while a push and hold switches the device on or off. At the back of the device handle, there is a trigger button that is pressed to calibrate the device. This button also starts data transfer in the manual mode, and in the automatic mode, it allows the data transfer to continue once each path segment is stepped. At the top surface of the device, there is a silicone protective cover. Under the cover, there are two connection ports. One of these ports is the headphone jack, which allows you to listen to the audio feedback from the device during detection. The second connection is the Type-C charging port. The device functions with a lithium-ion battery charged by a 5-volt 3-ampere charger. You can charge the device through the Type-C port. Always charge the device using its original charge adapter. Now, let's return to the control panel. Press and hold the power switch for 2 seconds to turn on the device. Switch between menu options by pressing the upward or the downward arrow. The downward arrow takes you to items below, and the upward arrow takes you to items above the list. Once you select the menu item of your choice, you can press the Select button to enter. To quit the selection or to move backward in the menu, press and hold the upward arrow button. Pushing the downward arrow button mutes or unmutes the device. Press and hold the center button to turn off the device. Once the device is turned off, you can fold it for safekeeping. Before starting the search, it is important to mind some environmental and operational factors that can directly influence the outcomes of the detection. First of all, you need to be well informed about the field that you will be running a search. The historical background of the land, its ground type, whether there was a prior human settlement in the field should be evaluated beforehand. There should not be any high voltage lines, power lines, base stations, devices with high magnetism, speakers, and magnets within at least 50 meters of the terrain search. Moreover, any heat sources, radio transmitters, solar energy systems, earth minerals, loose soil formation, salt and water presence may negatively alter the detection results. For the detections not to be affected by magnetic fluctuations, it is recommended that the terrain should be scanned along the north-south axis. The axis should be traced from north to south, or from south to north. If you are not sure about directions, it will be beneficial to use a compass. We recommend starting the scan in the northward direction. The size of the area scanned should be at least 10 measurement signals in 10 lines. The prospect point should be exactly at the center of the field to be scanned. If the resulting graph shows a metallic area or a cavity data close to the edges, it is recommended that you should center these areas and rescan around them. A wider scan should be performed in an unknown field. For instance, in such fields, 20 measurement signals in 20 lines would be suitable. Pay attention to leaving 30 centimeters of space between each measurement signal and 30 centimeters between adjacent lines. The scanning area should be proportionally larger depending on the breadth of the field. If you are searching for a subterranean tomb or a room, you can increase the interval between measurement signals, i.e. 50 centimeters. If you are seeking small objects of sizes 20 to 30 centimeters, you should have a smaller interval between measurement signals. If an object has been buried underground for a long period of time, the magnetic field generated by it strengthens. Thus, its detection is easier. You should double-check the target area by making the same scan at least twice. Extra scans help you to eliminate minerals and to correct mismeasurements. The more you repeat your scan above a prospect, the easier it is for you to detect whether the prospect is a real object or not. Thanks to its modular structure, the sensor of GR4 is attachable and detachable. Before using the device, make sure that the sensor is correctly placed by attaching it to the main device and turning it gently to stabilize it. With GR4 Dual, it is necessary to mount the armrest as well as the detector head. You can stabilize the detector head by attaching it with respect to the requisite angle and by rotating it. As for the ergonomic armrest, you can easily set it by aligning the holes with the screws as shown in the video. Always check the battery level once you turn the device on. If the battery level is not sufficient, it is strongly recommended that you should charge the device using its original charger. Use of the charger with other than the recommended electric current value may cause the performance of the device and the battery health to deteriorate. Once you have checked the battery level, you may proceed with device operation. You can choose the device language during setup. You can make the date setting in day, month, year, or month, day, year order. You can set the device clock to show time in 12 hours or 24 hours. The date and time settings are saved together with the files. You can complete the setup by making the rest of the adjustments. You can configure your device from the settings in the menu to adjust the sound, light, and other settings of the device to your preference. After these steps, your device is ready for scanning. Keep in mind that the device should avoid vibration and should be perpendicular to the ground while scanning. The device should be 10 to 15 centimeters above the ground and should be kept that way during scanning. Do not lower or raise the device while taking measurements. You can scan in zigzags or in parallels. When you finish scanning a line, the next line in the path should be parallel to the prior. The device should not be tilted during scanning. "3D ground scanning" in the device interface. When you are ready to search, you can switch the device on by pressing the center button. For ground scanning in 3D, enter the 3D ground scanning section in the device home screen. 3D ground scanning allows you to plot a 3D graph based on the measurements of the terrain. You can navigate through settings located in the 3D ground scanning menu by pressing upward and downward arrow buttons. By pressing the leftward and rightward arrow buttons, you can switch between settings and make adjustments. There are two scanning modes of the ground scanning function, namely automatic and manual. In the manual mode, you should press the trigger button on the device for every step you take. As for the automatic mode, you need to press the start button at the beginning of each line of the path. Before starting to scan, you should set the scanning mode as automatic or manual. You can perform a zigzag or parallel path in the parallel scanning mode. The starting point of every line of the path should be right next to the starting point of the prior line and in the same direction. In the zigzag scanning, lines should be scanned in a back and forth manner. With the direction setting, you can set the starting point of the scan as bottom right or bottom left. When you start scanning from the bottom left, the next line of the path should be to your right. When you start scanning from the bottom right, the next line of the path should be to your left. Line setting is used to input the number of lines that you will scan, i.e. 10 lines. There should be at least 20 to 30 centimeters between each line. Step setting is where you input the number of steps you will take to scan the part of the field depending on its size, i.e. 10 steps. There should be approximately 20 to 30 centimeters gap between each step. If you increase the size of the gap, it will be more difficult to detect small objects. Once the settings are made, you should press the center button to go to the scanning screen. On this screen, you should press the center button to begin scanning, or press and hold the upward arrow button to return to the settings screen. Your scan should be completed between the start and the end of each line of the path. Once the input number of measurement signals for every row is completed, the scan of the next line should be started. You should confirm by pressing the center button to move to the next line. Once the field scan is complete, the preview of the 3D image of the scanned area is displayed. Data Analysis On-Device Interface. Depending on the measurements obtained during scanning, you will see green, red, yellow, and blue areas on your screen. Underground cavities, soil fillings, and voids in blue. All metallic and highly magnetic objects will be mostly red and sometimes orange. Soil without any anomaly will be shown as green. Mineralized soil and objects with relatively low magnetism can be seen in yellow and orange. After you push the center button, you can save the graph to your device by pushing the center button to confirm the selection appearing on the screen. In order to view the saved data on the device screen, you should press and hold the upward arrow button to return to the main menu, and press the downward arrow button to go to the Files section. After you enter the Files section, press the center button to see the preview of your file. By pressing the same button again, you can analyze the preview according to its colors. If the file that you have opened is not the one you are looking for, you can quit the preview to skim through the other files to select the intended one. If you want to delete the file, you can press the center button to view the Delete option and press it again to confirm the delete action. A message asking if you are sure about deleting the file will appear, and if you are sure, you can select Yes to delete it permanently. If you do not want to delete, you can continue with the No option and return to the main menu by pressing and holding the upward arrow button. Mobile Application G-Portal. To be able to perform the following actions, first you need to download G-Portal application. It is possible to download G-Portal app from App Store for iOS devices and from Google Play Store for Android devices. Once the application download is complete, you can access the app from the user's interface of your mobile device. After you download the app to your mobile phone or tablet, you need to create a personal account and have a wireless connection to your GR4 device. When you run the app for the first time, you will view a screen that asks you to sign up to a new account or sign in with your existing account. If you are using the app for the first time, you need to select Create Account to sign up to a new personal account. After you enter the necessary information and complete the sign-up, the app directs you to the main page, where you can continue to connect your GR4 wirelessly. On the main page, you need to set up a wireless connection between your mobile device and GR4. To establish this connection, the operating system will require you to give some permissions, which can be found in the Permissions section of the Settings menu. These permissions are about file saving and location settings. GR4 or G-Portal does not save or use your location data. These permissions are solely necessary for Android and iOS to allow wireless data transfer. Once you select Allow for the permissions, restart your search for wireless connection by selecting Add Device option on the main menu. Choose GR4 from the list. Once the established connection message appears, you are set. This procedure is only necessary for the initial setup. From now on, the device will be connected automatically. On the left-hand side of the main page, there are the volume and luminosity adjustment icons, below which there are the battery charge level and device and mobile device synchronization icons. You can search for the device using the Bluetooth icon at the side of the screen, and you can change your language preference. Using the icons below the interface, you can return to the main page and quickly access the ground scanning. You can access the scanning menus, files, and settings using these icons. In order to run the 3D ground scanning using your mobile device, you can select the scanning menu icon to access the menu. On the main menu, you will view 3D ground scanning, live scanning, and detector menus. To perform 3D ground scanning, you can choose 3D ground scanning from the menu. 3D ground scanning via mobile app interface. Three-dimensional ground scanning, depending on the measurements of your ground of choice, allows you to create a 3D graph. You have to make necessary settings on the appearing screen. Ground scanning has two different scanning functions, namely automatic and manual. Scanning mode. This option allows you to determine how the device will perform the scan. If manual is selected, you need to press the Start button of the device for each step. If automatic is selected, the device scans every point with a preset latency. You should set the scanning mode either automatic or manual before starting the scan. You can select the scanning mode from the path setting. In the parallel scanning mode, the starting point of every line of the path should be right next to the starting point of the prior line and in the same direction. In the zigzag scanning, lines should be scanned in a back and forth manner. With the direction setting, you can set the starting point of the scan as bottom right or bottom left. When you start scanning from the bottom left, the next line of the path should be to your right. When you start scanning from the bottom right, the next line of the path should be to your left. Line setting is used to input the number of lines that you will scan, i.e. 10 lines. There should be at least 20 to 30 centimeters between each line. Step setting is where you input the number of steps you will take to scan the part of the field depending on its size, i.e. 10 steps. There should be approximately 20 to 30 centimeters of gap between each step. If you increase the size of the gap, it will be more difficult to detect small objects. Once the settings are made, you should press the center button to go to the scanning screen. You can view your data instantaneously on the scanning screen. If the manual mode is selected, you need to press OK or the trigger button. If the automatic mode is selected, there is no need to press any buttons. Every measurement signal proceeds automatically. When data collection starts, the screen shows green, red, yellow, and blue colors. Once the scan is complete, you will view a message that says the scan is complete below the screen. You can select the reset icon to restart your scan and the save icon to store your scan. When you select Save, you need to enter a file name for this file. You can either name your file yourself, or you can use the preset name to complete saving. You will be directed to the File section once your file is successfully saved. Data analysis on the mobile app interface. All complete ground scanning graphs are stored in the Files section. Users can use this section to view or analyze the files. To open the scan files, enter the Files section in the main menu. You can view all saved files here. By sliding a file leftwards, you can view the location of the scan on a map, share, rename, and delete. You can create a favorites list for your scans, view each scan in detail, and arrange your files. If you enable Auto Backup, your files will be saved on the cloud account with which you enter the application. You can view the scan data to analyze it. All metallic objects and most objects with high magnetism will be shown in red, some in orange. Cavities, filled spaces, and underground voids will be in blue, while soil without any anomaly will be viewed in green. Mineralized soil and objects with low magnetism will be indicated in yellow or orange. While analyzing the graph, you should pay attention to the colors and shapes. Metallic objects have distinctive and clear shapes, while mineralized structures generally appear scattered and not in a clear form. Metallic objects generally appear in red, while mineral structures generally appear in yellow and in orange. The most important distinction between metallic objects and minerals is the numerical difference that the data obtained from the soil is shown. Artificially constructed structures such as subterranean tunnels, rooms, and tombs are indicated in blue. If there is a collapse or cavity underground, the graph shows it in light blue, in turquoise, and in light green. If you are searching for a different shape, the blue regions in the graph should correspond to the shape. For instance, if you are seeking a tomb, blue region should be rectangular and should correspond to the size of the tomb. V-Layer 4 menu allows you to analyze data in more detail by adjusting parameters such as power, depth factor, and surface count. Contour Map menu shows curved maps. 3D menu provides standard analysis, while Advanced 3D menu allows you to analyze data from different angles graphically. The refresh icon above brings the graph back to its original angle. You can make the approximate depth calculations of your data by using various modes. Depth Analyzer function allows you to view the signal values corresponding to each square on the graph, and to choose the ground type to observe point-based depth data. Once you touch the signal square that you would like to analyze, you can observe that the values change in the window below. The first value that you encounter, soil, indicates the ground level. To view the total depth of the area scanned, touch General Depth option. You can carry the depth line upwards or downwards. You can scroll on the window opened. These values provide you the total general depth data of the area scanned. The indicated depth data depends on a certain calculation that gives an approximate opinion, but is not exact or binding. Using the measurement mode, you can measure the distance between 2 points on the graph. Once you touch the starting point, a node is added, and you can touch other points to add more nodes. The distance between two nodes is indicated below in the pop-up window, while the distance between all the nodes is indicated above in the pop-up window. These measurements help you to realize the sizes of subterranean objects, rooms, and cavities. To get information about your scan and the soil structure, you can use the Smart Scan Analyzer function. When you touch the function, the app calculates and informs about the scanned soil: normal, mineral-rich, or with cavity. The app will send you warnings that recommend you to perform your search in a larger area when you scan within a small area and with few signals. You can apply filters to analyze your data in more detail. You can access the filter settings by touching the filters icon on the 3D viewer screen. By applying a color filter, you can lower the tones of the reds, greens, and blues on the graph or zero them. You can activate or cancel certain colors to concentrate on metal or cavity data depending on your search objective. Using the color saturation filter, you can increase or decrease the saturation of blue and red. Therefore, minor differences among the values become more distinct. With the 3D analysis of the detector mode, you will see a transition from green to red. Green areas represent soil structure, while orange and red areas represent data about the metals. You can arrange grid lines using the scan settings. You can return to the main menu by pressing the back icon. Let's move on to the next scanning mode of the device. Live scanning mode. Live scanning is the 2D scanning mode that allows you and pinpoint detection. In this mode, it is possible to scan without being confined by any specific order and by using both the display of the device and the G-Portal mobile app. To be able to use the live scanning mode, you need to make sure that the MFS sensor is attached to the device. We'll first take a look at the device interface. Thanks to the live scanning system, subterranean objects and anomalies can be observed instantaneously. You can detect buried objects, metallic materials, and cavities thanks to their magnetic effect. All metallic objects and materials with high magnetic effects are shown in red or orange, while the cavities are shown in blue. If there is no metal or cavity present, the screen turns green. Ground with relatively low magnetic effect and minerals are represented in yellow or orange. To start a live scan in your mobile application, go to Live Scanning mode in the app. Scanning will begin instantly. On the bottom left, you can view the ground level and the numerical values of measurements instantaneously. You can level the ground with the calibration button on the side. Calibration should be made outside the region which you would like to scan. Metallic objects, miscellaneous objects, and underground cavities can be detected based on their magnetic effects. All metallic objects and objects with high magnetic effects are shown in red or orange, while cavities are shown in blue. When no metal or cavity is detected, the screen turns green. Ground with low magnetic effect and minerals are shown in tones of yellow or orange. You can return to the main menu by pressing the back button. Now let us move on to another operating mode, the Pinpointer mode. You can use the Pinpointer mode to determine the exact location of the metallic or magnetic objects. Pinpointer scanning mode can be set both on the device screen and on the G-Portal mobile app. To be able to use this mode, you need to make sure the MFS sensor is attached to the device. First, we will examine the device interface. Sensitivity settings allows you to amplify the signals received by the detector in order to make it easier for you to detect targets. While lower ground settings reduce the environmental noise to provide a clear scanning, higher settings amplify the weak signals to detect smaller objects at greater depths. But extreme ground settings can increase the noise. In Pinpointer scanning mode, the device can only detect metals with magnetic effect. Objects with high magnetic effects are shown in red or orange on the screen, and their momentary value is shown numerically in the middle of the screen. When objects with magnetic effect and metallic objects are sensed, the bar on the left-hand side of the screen shows increase. When cavities, caves, and similar structures are detected, the bar on the right-hand side of the screen shows increase. In order to use the device in Pinpointer scanning mode, you can select it from the main menu in the mobile equipment. Once you enter the menu, the scanning will start immediately. As you approach the target, the bars increase gradually, and when the bars reach their maximum, the graph turns red. If the signal is low, the graph turns green and the bar levels decrease. Sensitivity setting adjusts the response curve of the sound signal. High sensitivity increases the sound swiftly and distinctively. Low sensitivity provides a softer and controlled increase. Threshold setting is used so that the device ignores small fluctuations. If the measurement surpasses this threshold at the calibration point, sound is produced. Increasing the threshold causes the device to respond only to strong signals and reduces the noise, but small targets may be overlooked. Lowering the threshold causes the device to respond to even small fluctuations. Weak signals are more easily detected, but the device gets prone to noise. For calibration, you can level the ground by pressing the Calibrate button. While red represents metallic objects and objects with high magnetism, orange and yellow represent mineralized soil and areas with low magnetic effect. Blue shows underground cavities, caves, and land fillings. Green indicates the base soil that shows no electromagnetism. When metallic objects and objects with electromagnetism are sensed, the bar on the left-hand side of the screen is raised. When cavities, caves, and alike are sensed, the bar on the right-hand side of the screen is raised. Now let us turn off our GR4 and move on to our GR4 Dual. Operating GR4 Dual. In order to use GR4 Dual in pulse detector mode, first you need to attach the PI sensor to the device. While working with the PI sensor in GR4 Dual, the search coil should be parallel and very close to, as if it will touch the ground. This placement reduces the mineralization effect to minimum and allows the device to detect targets in bigger depth. To do manual balancing, the trigger should be pressed. You can turn on Dual in the same manner as GR4 by pressing and holding the center button. As in GR4, you can use the PI menus both on the device and on a mobile. Among the menu items of GR4 Dual, we will first examine the Advanced Scan mode. When the Advanced Scan mode is selected, the device first calibrates automatically. When the menus of GR4 are entered, automatic balancing is conducted. To do manual balancing, the trigger should be pressed. During calibration, the search coil must be kept perpendicular to the ground and should not be moved. Once the calibration is complete, the device launches the scanning screen. Metals detected during the scan are shown in the metal bar below the screen, and the signal strength in percentage is shown on the right corner of the screen. If the metal is non-ferrous, the value bar on top of the screen turns to non-ferrous. If it is ferrous, then the bar turns to ferrous, and the bars on the right-hand side are raised to detection level. Ground settings determine the ground balancing tolerance. If the field contains various ground types or the mineralization is not homogeneous, the detector can have difficulty in distinguishing metal from mineral. In such cases, you can set the ground level according to the ground type. Value 0 represents clean ground, while higher values represent mineralized ground. To change the ground setting, you can use the leftward and rightward arrow buttons. To access advanced settings, you can press the downward arrow button. In the ground sound mode, the detector continuously produces a background sound, and as the ground or the target changes, the tone changes. Weak signals are received more precisely. If this mode is off, the device beeps only when the target is detected and remains silent at all other times. The ground tracking setting runs the system stably and reliably on low mineral ground, while on high mineral ground it may not. For this reason, it is not recommended to keep this mode on. Sensitivity setting amplifies the signals received by the detector to facilitate locating targets. Lower settings reduce the environmental noise, while higher settings amplify weak signals for the detection of small and deeply buried objects, but very high settings may increase the noise. Now let us perform this operation on the mobile app. The menus concerning PI are located within the Detector menu. Now let us enter Advanced Detector menu. When Advanced Scan mode is selected, the device automatically calibrates first. During calibration, the search coil should be kept parallel to the ground and should not be moved. When calibration is complete, the device directly moves on to the scanning screen. Manual calibration can be made by pressing the trigger or calibration button. In this mode, the user can change depth and sensitivity settings. Detected metals are shown in the metal bar above the screen, and the strength of the received signal is shown in percentage on the right corner of the screen. When metal is detected, depending on the size and proximity of it, the screen turns from green to red. Detected metal being non-ferrous or ferrous is indicated on top of the screen. G&D setting determines the minimum signal level that the detector can measure. It should be set in accordance with the ground structure and target size. Sound setting allows you to set the feedback sound that you hear. Ground tracking feature works in a stable manner when the ground mineral amount is low to increase reception sensitivity, but it can work in an unstable manner on a ground with a high mineral amount, so that it is recommended not to keep it on. Sensitivity setting amplifies the received signals to facilitate target detection. Low settings reduce the noise, while high settings help detection of small and deeply buried objects, but may increase the noise. Now let us examine the Fast Scan menu on the device. When Fast Scan mode is selected, the device automatically calibrates. During calibration, the detection head should be parallel to the ground and should not be moved. Once the calibration is complete, the device directly switches to the scanning screen. It is also possible to calibrate the device manually by pressing the trigger button. When metal is detected, the circular bar in the middle of the screen is raised depending on the proximity and the size of the metal. If the metal detected is non-ferrous, then the indicator moves towards non-ferrous. And if it is ferrous, then the indicator moves towards ferrous. You can also apply fast scan via your mobile device. When fast scan mode is selected, the device calibrates automatically. During calibration, the detector head should be perpendicular to the ground and should not be moved. When calibration is complete, the device directly switches to the scanning screen. If preferred, manual calibration can be made by pressing the trigger button. When metal is detected, the circular bar in the middle of the screen turns from green to red, depending on the size and the proximity of the metal. The value of the detected metal, being non-ferrous or ferrous, is indicated at the top of the screen. To level the ground, you can press Calibrate.